Look at how cool that is. We received a card today from one of my friends in Florida who downloaded the free gift like the first week that she could, and she fell in love with them, I guess. That was just really encouraging for me because we have really blunt and honest friends, so they would have said, hey man, these are crap. And she just loved them so much she wanted to send a letter about it. And I guess what she was saying is it really helped her on date night, so that's great. It wasn't something that we designed specifically for romantic relationships. It's just for relationships in general. So it works great for romantic ones though. It's just any kind of relationship where you want to feel more connected, and for a creative that's a really great thing, to feel more connected. So I'll just jump in into the topic today on soul health meeting creativity. All right, so again, we believe that soul health really unlocks you to live your most creative life, whether you're pursuing a more creative career or you just love art and you need art in your life. So the first way that happens is soul health actually creates more confidence. So this is probably one of my favorite ones because we've created products launching in the fall just around confidence and creativity and soul health being locked in. Okay, cool. I just wanted to check on that. So confidence is a big one. So especially for creatives, because my experience with creatives is we can be very sensitive because our emotions are pretty connected to the art that we put on display in the world. So I'm going to share a quick story from me about how that is completely the case. I'm totally a sensitive, creative person. Well, recently, I'm a musician, so that's one of the creative things that I do. Musician, singer, songwriter. So recently, I had my first professional voice lesson, which was amazing. It's a different ball game having a voice lesson that you're legitimately like paying for from someone that works with recording artists. So that was really neat and really fun. And it was only 30 minutes, but it was still really great and revealing. So we went through some skills, we did some warm-ups, and I, at the end of the lesson, sang a song that I had prepared, just a song by an artist. And within like 25 seconds of me singing the song, the voice teacher stopped me. And she looked me dead in the eyes. It was through Skype, but still it felt I just felt naked in this moment because she just looked at me and she said, "You don't believe in yourself. You are missing notes and you are singing off key because you don't believe in yourself. You are not confident. And if you can go away and you can work on your confidence, you're going to be able to hit the notes, because when I was singing with you in the scales, you could completely hit the notes, but when you went off on your own, your whole temperament changed." And no one had ever told me that straight out. That was a really, I felt naked in that moment because I think I knew in my heart, like, that was so true. My initial response was like, of course I'm confident. Of course I believe in myself. Why would I pay money for a voice lesson if I wasn't invested in myself and in this kind of future? But she was so right, and I went back and I kind of sat with it after the lesson and talked it over with myself and my husband and a few friends, and I realized that like there were some wounds from my past, from as far back as like 9 years old, where one person had told me, hey, like you can't sing, like you're never going to be able to make it as an artist, you should just stop now. And it was on this family camping trip, and it was just someone having a bad day. So I should have, your old self should like recognize that. You should logically be able to say, oh, they were just having a bad day, but your emotions don't always do that. So I've been holding on to that for my whole life, and there's pretty much just one other person that had said something similar to me when I was in high school. And it amazed me the more I sat with that, because I realized there have been over 100 people that have wanted to support my creative, like, musical career. And these two people, I gave them so much power over my artistic identity. And so with soul health, I was able to go through and kind of sit with my emotions, navigate that process and locate my confidence, because lack of confidence will directly affect your art, whether it's having to get up on stage and doing music, or it's painting or doing photography. If you have doubts in your head about how good you can be, you're not going to be able to perform at your best, because you don't believe in yourself. There's just always going to be something in you holding yourself back. So creativity is directly linked to your confidence. So soul health will obviously give you more confidence in yourself. And actually, there's a blog up this week from me, and it talks about 3 things that changed my life, and really one of the things is self-discovery, but that's a direct link to confidence. So if you go on the blog this week, I'd recommend just reading it. It's pretty short. I try to keep them really short and to the point, because I really want you guys to walk away with something that'll actually work. So if you go through, read the blog, and you read the self-discovery portion, hopefully that'll resonate. But so the next one is communicator. So I just want to make sure I'm doing this right. You guys should send hearts or send comments to make sure I'm doing this right and that you can hear me, but more people are jumping on, so that's good. So just talking about soul health and creativity being directly linked, being pretty much like in the same world. So the next one is soul health makes you a better communicator. So if I'm regularly navigating my inner world, and so inner world / soul health, really it's just 3 things. It's your emotions, your mind, and your will. So that's all that I'm talking about here. So if I'm navigating my thoughts, my emotions, and my will regularly, and I'm asking myself questions, I'm having deeper conversations with the people around me, I begin to develop language for who I am and what I want and the why behind those things. So it's almost like you spending time to develop a brand, and you develop better language to express what this brand is. More people resonate with it. And I'm sure like you guys have seen examples of this your entire life with brands like Nike and Apple. You completely understand who they are because they're so good at communicating it. So when you search yourself, you develop language for yourself, you begin to be a better communicator, and all art is communication. I mean, that's not all that it is, but communication is a really big component of art because you're a storyteller. When I'm creating lyrics for a song, when I'm creating an idea for a video, we just released a short film, and if you've ever worked on a creative team with multiple people that do not have the strengths that you have, you realize really quickly how key it is to be a good communicator of a vision. Otherwise, things get messed up, or like, things fall through the cracks, and it's no one's fault. It's just being a good communicator, if you're the person carrying the vision, and if you're the person creating the art. And I think as I've gotten older, I've realized that, like, I think when I was younger and I would write poetry or I would write music, my perspective was, I don't really need it to make sense to the world, it just needs to make sense to me. And that's still true in my life, but I think I also wanted to impact people. I also want to help people. I also want to give people context for dealing with stuff through my music. And the better I can communicate my ideas, the better my art will resonate with people. So soul health makes you a better communicator, which directly impacts your art. So I hope these are making sense for you guys, and I hope they're resonating. I hope I'm communicating well. But the third thing is endurance / inner strength. So I could probably think of a lot of stories about myself and about a lot of the people in my life, because a lot of the people in my life are creatives. When we had a bad day, or when we had a bad season, and really more than a bad day, like a bad season, a bad week, a bad month, and we didn't know how to deal with it. So for me, I had a season at the beginning of my marriage that was really tough. It was so hard, and the reality was I didn't have the inner strength like developed at that point to really handle the stuff that I was facing. And it didn't so much have to do with my husband. It really just had to do with the changes that came with marriage that I was having a hard time adapting to. So I didn't have the inner strength built up to deal with that stuff. And my art completely suffered. Like, everything in my life really suffered, but specifically with my art, I really stopped pursuing music. I really shut it down. I really made a lot of excuses to just, to not have to be vulnerable in front of people, which is what your art typically is. You're being vulnerable. So what soul health does is you're navigating your inner world and you're finding wounds and you're confronting them. You're poking at them. You're figuring out, why is this here? How can we clear this out in a lasting way, in a healthy way? And when you do that, you're creating inner strength for yourself. So the more inner strength you have, the more you're going to be able to go through those seasons of your life where, you know, it's the beginning of your marriage and you've never had to deal with these types of things before, or you're moving to a new city and you have to start all over. And instead of having this rainy season where your art completely suffers, and for a lot of us, our art is such a big part of ourselves, you can go through a season and say, yeah, this is tough, but I know how to navigate this, because you're building up your inner strength. So those are the 3 ways that inner health is directly linked to your confidence, and how I believe the healthier that you are, the more you're going to thrive as a creative person, the more that you're going to feel fulfilled and live an adventurous life. So that's all that I have. Do you guys have questions before I head to bed? Because I have to wake up at 4 a.m. as well. But I'll just give you guys a couple seconds. I want to make sure that you guys, I think the comments are, maybe I've locked them. Maybe I have. Okay. Well, this is my first ever time on, so I'm sorry if I've locked the comments, but I'll try not to do that next time. And this chat, if you want to rewatch it, obviously will be on Periscope, but I'm going to put it on our site tomorrow at ofnoble.com, so you can rewatch it, you can share it with people, you can swipe and share right now. I know it's probably a bit late, I should have said that at the beginning, but if you know a creative in your life that would really benefit from understanding how soul health, really just self-improvement, you know, committing yourself to a life of intentional living, that kind of stuff will improve your creativity and your art, go ahead and share it with them. I mean, send it through text, put it on your Facebook, whatever you think. But again, my name is Miciah. I'm one of the founders behind Of Noble. You can find us at ofnoble.com, and the best way to really connect is on our Instagram, and Instagram is at the Of Noble brand. So yeah, and I guess the last thing I want to leave you guys with is go get that free gift. My hope in creating the cue cards for you guys is that it'll just unlock things in you. It'll lead you down a path of greater self-discovery. And this is a path my husband and I have been traveling for a while. And well, I've been doing this kind of stuff for about 8 years and engaging with some soul health principles for about 8 years. And it's completely changed my life in the best way possible, especially creatively. So go onto our Instagram, get those free cue cards, the link's in our bio, and then if you want, drop by the website, read the blog. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. I thought I'd have one person, so I'm glad that I have more than one person. But thank you guys, and I'll be signing out for now. All right, bye.